Let me take you guys back to a random game on November 21st. It was the Nets and Celtics, and all night Michael Porter Jr. was just destroying the Celtics, spamming Chicago action and handoffs, and no matter what defender, whether it was Derek White, Jordan Walsh, Jaylen Brown, Baylor Shireman, they couldn't stop Porter Jr. The denials weren't strong, getting over screens weren't strong, and then there was just this one play that was ingrained in my brain where rookie Hugo Gonzalez was initially guarding Jaeger Dioman, but was switched onto MPJ. He was physical with him and even slowed MPJ down coming towards the ball. And even when MPJ looks to have a potential cutback door, Hugo is chasing him, denying him, and even coming off the screen, he is attached, gets added help in the gap from Kada and drop, but then he timely peels off of MPJ to Terrence Mann and completely shuts down this entire possession. And I was like, who the is that? And why did they just shut down and play the best defense on MPJ this entire game? And it was that one play where it's like, I have to see more of this dude. Fast forward to a month later on December 22nd, the Celtics came back from down 20 to beat the Pacers, and he was matched up on Pascal Siakam, where through the first half of the game, Siakam was 8 for 11 with 23 points, and in the second half, that dipped to Siakam having only 2 points on 1 for 7 shooting. That was large part due to the defense of Hugo Gonzalez. You see him defend on the post-up. That strength he possesses allows him to absorb contact and even push Siakam a bit further away from the basket before sliding his feet to get fully in front of Siakam and walling up against him on the shot attempt. This one shows the strength of Hugo, where on the drive, Pascal tries to get into his body, but Hugo embraces it, and his right foot looks a bit off balance, but he somehow stays stable, sturdy, and wide, and provides the resistance to make Siakam uncomfortable. And here, this is standard help he provides down low, but this highlights one of his best skills in helping on one play and then recovering, rotating out to take away another play. And it looks like as Siakam is about to shoot, he has his arms in the cookie jar, but just instinctually pulls away, forcing an uncomfortable shot and not fouling. That is so important for a rookie. You see the energy and choppiness in his feet as he is able to provide help in the gaps, then get back out and contest Siakam's shot. And this shows more in his motor and activity on defense. He's a 6'6" wing, and the first thing that pops out is his frame, which allows him to be sturdy and take bumps from bigger players. This was a pretty fun play where he is the last one to come up the floor, but after the Hardy ball screen, Hugo sprints to switch on to Hardy, and this is a tactic that Celtics frequently do, which is called nexting, where the closest defender opposite of the ball will switch on the ball handler after a screen, and White will switch on to Marshall. So Hugo blows up that play, then switches back on to Marshall after the botched White steal, gets hammered by the first bump, stays sturdy through it all on the second bump, and walls up against Marshall, who is usually just automatic on those floaters. His upper body strength is tremendous, but his lower body strength just brings everything together. Taking the shoulder bump from Johnson, but still staying on balance to contest the shot all the way through. He leads with his top foot when defending one-on-one a lot, but he has swift movement with his feet, defending in a wide base and keeping the ball in front. He is low in a wide base, he stabs at the ball, and he can just get away with opening up his hips because he can recover back to you. And honestly, he should have been done here on this possession. Murray hesitates and gives him that daylight to recover fully, and he ends up blocking the shot. He's one of the better closeout defenders, really quick and active to hustle out and give a flyby contest on a shooter, good at covering a ton of ground, and good at playing in the gaps, showing on a drive, then sprinting back out and getting a contest on a shot. One of the best things with him is that he can be switchable in certain matchups. So in a small lineup here where he is able to go from defending Ware to now switching on Powell to close off the drive, then this man is in the air, hustles to the corner, and rises up to block a jump shot. And this is some really, really good shit. One of his biggest drawbacks is that he does have a tendency to leave his feet to hunt for a block and get out of position, but this is a guy who plays with some risk, and I have to respect that as long as you aren't consistently out of position on defense. He's really good at keeping his arms down and away from offensive players seeking to get him in foul trouble, and that's an underrated trait for him. Knowing when to use his hands and at the right moments, getting his hands away from the defender, continuing to stay in front and force a player into a tough shot. And these are the risks that I'm talking about, where he does call out the switch, but on the isolation, he completely leaves his man, but he does make a big play on the shot. And a play like this is risky of the entire team, but Hugo has some great instincts. Ingram takes him off the drive. Pritchard really commits to the gap help, trying to jump the pass and fails while Mamu cuts inside. And this should be a clean opening, but Hugo slides down, Peel switches off his man, and now that isn't Derek White getting that block. That is Hugo Gonzalez. He's super active as a rotator who closes out efficiently. He plays limited minutes, but when he jumps into the game, his defense and intensity is felt. He doesn't need to score the basketball for his impact to be felt. And the Celtics really made an emphasis to crash the boards, which made them the third best rebounding team in the league. And he has some really good instincts in this area. His frame and strength helps a ton, as once a shot goes up, he can battle and be physical with other players to get into the heat of the battle on the boards. And Hugo doesn't have the most impressive scoring resume, averaging just 3 points, but his calling signs are the transition leakouts, the cutting, the screening, and operating within the dunker spot, with a potential swing skill for him being the three-point shot. The three-pointer is shaky, with him taking limited threes at 36%, and if that bumps up to around 5 threes on maybe 38% or more, he will look to be a piece that can gain more playing time. A good chunk of his threes are off the catch and mostly coming from the corners, and he has actually shot 41% on corner threes per cleaning the glass. The area that is really underrated for him is the closeout attacks. He doesn't have the greatest handle, pretty loose and unpolished with the change of directions, but he is capable putting the ball down, getting into some high gallers and slide-bys when the defense is scrambling, and he shot 75% at the rim, and he looks to be a solid finisher. I'm pretty high on Hugo. I feel with his defensive traits and off-ball abilities, he's going to rise into the level of love that guys like Alex Caruso, Drew Holiday, Cason Wallace, those gritty defender types get. Now I'll wrap it up for this video. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more NBA breakdowns like these. For all that being said, y'all, I will see you all in the next video.